So welcome. I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, prescription for your transformation. Hashtag real people, real success, and real conversations. And I'm supposed to forget the hashtag. That was a message from my son a while back. Son teaching dad, how to do things in the modern world. And that's what this is really all about. How is it that we get to show up in the modern world? What are the lessons that we learned as a child from whatever country we came from? And then understanding the relevance or the appropriateness, if you will, in today's world. And so the question is, with the tools that you have, are they enough for you to show up in your life today? Are they going to deliver the results? And what's interesting then is that when they don't, then fear sets in for many of us. And that's the real challenge. How is it that we can overcome our fears so that we can actually live the life that we desire? And so today I'm delighted to be talking to a beautiful woman. She is from across the Atlantic, from a different country, different background, incredible story in so many different ways. And she has made a choice. She has made that choice to connect into her own soul, show up in her life the way that she feels that she can and wants to teach other people to do that as well, and is now traveling the world helping people do the same. Elvisa, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure, Bart. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much again for having these conversations. This is one of the first things that years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I found similar conversations online, just audio, and I started listening, and that's when my life started changing. So thank you for doing this.
Well, and thank you for, changing the lives of so many other people right now, simply because you're in that process and you supercharged 2017 to really come up and do tons of work in 2018 and to really help people that perhaps don't get easy access to this. I know that a lot of personal growth happens in the United States and English-speaking countries, but there's not so much in other countries as well. And that's what's particularly exciting about you, is that has not been a barrier. And so going back to your own country and teaching people there, but not stopping there, going to China and helping people with that as well. And so today we're going to be talking about what you're known for. And that's that connection between that personality of you, how we actually, might show up, and how our soul really desires to show up. And so share with us, what is that difference? What is that personality versus soul desire?
All right. So yes, I am blessed to be from a different country, and it's a big passion of mine. And mainly my focus was in the beginning to just speak in Bosnian to my people, just because of these reasons. There's so many people here, and I feel it's covered. A lot of teachers here, but not enough in Balkan area. So that's why my focus is mainly there. But I do work in other places, like you said. So to go back to the question, what is the difference between soul versus personality action? It's when we have a desire, and it's been a nudge. It's been like a knowing we wanted to do this, and we dream about this for so long. And we sometimes decide, okay, it's time to do this. Let's do this. Let's try. And then right away, personality comes. By the way, personality is the parts of us that are fearful, that are programmed, the old limiting beliefs, and just perception, the identity we inherited when we were children. So, of course, personality versus soul action is always, what's right. It's like a knowing. We all know it. We know what we want. But then the personality, with all its fears and limitations, comes in and says, oh, no, you can't do this. You're not qualified. It's too hard. You don't know how to do this. And all those excuses that fearful personality tells us. And then we leave it. We go back feeling incompetent in a way, unable to follow this nudge, follow the heart, the calling. And that's the main reason I feel, I mean, it's not a feeling, it's a knowing, really. It's the main reason why people today are not fulfilled and are unable to go and follow their dreams because they listen too much to the personality and not following the soul's desires. And that's something that I've recently fully got myself. Just recently, like last year, recently, after all the training and all the teachers and everything that I know and studied, I realized I am still not fully listening to my soul's calling because I get so fearful and I think, oh, what if it's not going to work? So, and that's why I decided to really step in and honor, get aligned, like basically align with my soul's desires.
So I can imagine that one of the reasons that, we don't do this, and I've studied so many things over the years too, and I still catch myself, falling over myself, tripping over myself because I didn't listen to my intuition. And actually a big thing happened last week when, my intuition was screaming, do this. And then because I felt obligated to other people, I didn't listen to that. And that was a beautiful lesson for me to really trust. But the thing that I find sometimes that, me being very much in my head as well, and fortunately more connected with my heart lately in the last years with the same kind of work that you've done, I still find myself sometimes not trusting that instinct. And so that's one of the challenges. And so I've got an idea of what might help with that, but how do you help people trust that instinct? Because when you have everybody else telling you it's wrong and your heart says it's right, sometimes that can be a challenge.
Absolutely. One of the main important things is to show up every day in life, meaning show up and put your mind in the right place, meditate, focus your mind so you are in control, so you get the feeling of sense of control, the certainty you get from meditating, the certainty you get from showing up at the gym or whatever you do for your physical body. So showing up when it's raining, when it's hard, when you're fearful, just show up with these little practices. They're strategies, they're tools, but they're practices every single day. So what happens, we unconsciously build foundation of certainty. And then we don't question so much our intuition. It's just a natural, it's a knowing, when you're certain. But the reason people are afraid to listen to their intuition because they don't have the strong foundation, because they're not showing up every single day in their meditation, in their prayer, in their body, like physically exercising.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think, it's my perception, it's my belief that so many people have just simply disregarded, the wonderful benefits of meditation. And because it seems so difficult and it seems like, oh, well, these Chinese people do it, or the Japanese people do it, or the Eastern philosophies do it. Well, I'm not Eastern, so maybe, and I'm not going to get it right. And now they're going to talk about the transcendental meditation. What is that? And there's this big fear of failure. And so what I've discovered for myself is actually almost as beautiful, and that's just finding that quiet time, just stopping. Right? And anyway, everybody can do this. You just stop and just check in with yourself. Check in with your sensation, check in with the sounds around you, what you're feeling, what emotions going on, what thoughts are going on, and just kind of going with the flow of that energy and just being okay with it. And then oftentimes what I'll do is I'll ask a question. What is it that I want right now?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What is it that I don't know? And oftentimes that's all the meditation I give myself. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? When you've got these wonderful workshops and you're instructing all these people, and I know you do that in China as well. So do you teach them how to meditate and things like that?
Yes, but what you said is perfect. What you feel is right for you, just slowing down, just lay down and close your eyes and just put your feel your body, like put your hands on your body, just feel yourself. That is meditation. You slow down. So that is perfect. And everybody who is not a meditator and doesn't like the idea of sitting down, you don't have to, just slow down. Like meditation is being present in the moment, like present right now, like feeling your body. That's meditation. Present with our voices and with this picture and not going other places, just being present. What this does, like I said before, it's really unconsciously building that strong foundation of us being certain in ourselves, being certain that we can slow down and hear and feel, and of course, then make decisions when the time comes and trust our intuition. So yes, I teach it all kinds of ways. I scan who's, because you always know who's up for it and who's not. So I just give them options, variety. Pick your own. Whatever feels right for you is right for you. Just slow
And
down.
and again, I think what's very compelling too, and that's why, working with someone like yourself who has the insight and has the experience can also appreciate, the different, characteristics or qualities or personalities of people, to also give them permission to be themselves. And what was interesting in the coaching that I got recently, from an amazing human being, Chad Cooper, and I've had him on the show as well. He helped me appreciate that my environment has to be aesthetically pleasing. And what that means, it has to be tidy, has to be organized, and has to please me, because otherwise for me, it's a major distraction. And so some of these things that you're talking about is just being present and not being distracted and giving yourself what it is that you need in that moment. It makes a huge difference, because what I experience sometimes is that, when I'm have these unfinished jobs or other distractions, it's hard to be present.
Absolutely, absolutely right. And it's even harder when we never go to these moments, when we're not trained, when we don't train our brain to go to these moments. Then it's really hard. So that's why doing it every single day, minute at a time, if you have to, or have a regular practice, is essential for our well-being, and then, of course, to being able to hear our soul's desires and follow our heart's going.
So I like what you said about showing up, because there's another truth about that as well. Because if you don't show up, no one else will do that for you. And there's this, fantasy that, oh yeah, it's going to come, or it's going to happen, or whatever it is. And so I must, how is it? I must have, no, I must do, then have, and then I can be. And I think Louise Hayes turned it upside down and says, you have to be so you can do and then have. And that's sort of what you're also talking about, is that you have to be that person just to do your thing. And, waking up in the morning because you're too tired. Well, let me rephrase that. Wanting to get up in the morning and working out, and then deciding to roll over in bed and hit the snooze button, is just not showing up.
Absolutely.
And how do you help people to just get that dialed in, so that they will constantly show up? Because by showing up, by doing that part that you said you would, makes all the difference.
Absolutely, it's one of the most important things a person can do for themselves. It's hard. Sometimes it's really hard to get people because we don't show up, because we don't have negative consequences of not showing up right away. So, are we ever late to a plane, to catch a plane? It's like
Right.
barely ever, because we have a high immediate consequence right there if we are late, right? But we're late for gym because there are no immediate consequences, or we're late to meditate because there's nothing happening. And the reason we're late, because there's not even a benefit right away. We don't see it right away. So people really need to just slow down and see this as truth. See this as truth. There is no benefit right now. You can't see it. There is benefit, but you can't see it. But then also see the truth. What happened to Michael Jordan or whoever who practiced and practiced and practiced, every single day. So just get these things straight in your head. These are facts. Just get them right and then commit, show up, like test yourself. Test yourself for a week of showing up and then do it for a month. The people just are too active, overactive brains, especially now with everything. And they miss out the boat of showing up, and then they feel guilty, and then they build on it, and then it's a cycle. It's unfortunate, and it's beautiful. I just had a training, 28-day online training with my students, like Bosnian people. It was online. Every single day, we showed up at 6:15. I guided them through meditation and a goal setting for that day. We had other things done, but in just 28 days, the transformations, these people, the realizations, the knowings, like the things just got to them. They finally uncovered what happened, like the things they were carrying through some of these practices. They showed up every day and they were able to see and hear. It's unbelievable, just 28 days. Can you imagine
Wow.
if we show up for a year? Like I showed up last year full time, like never before. I was showing up here and there before too. But last year I really showed up in my life, and I can now see the huge difference in everything, in my business, in my life, in my health, everything. Important.
And that's so true. And anybody who's out there complaining that their life is not the way that they want it to be, I mean, everybody has the opportunity the opportunity to reach their dreams, and whatever they're actually, whatever they can think of, they can make happen. And it's just a matter of, having the right mindset. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, too often people will say, well, I don't have the resources, or I'm not smart enough, or, I don't have the money, or I don't have the education, whatever it is. And you and I know we've been in this world of personal development for quite some time. And 80% really is your mindset, it's your psychology. And unless that changes, you're going to stay stuck. And the problem is that, one of the challenges that we see is that we aren't always connected with the environments that are going to support us the best. And so we need to find those people that will support us. We need to find the people that we can learn from. And even if no one's around you, you can find those people online. You can find the books. And that's why what you're doing is so important, because you've written your book so that people have access to that. And now you're coming out with your audio series. And so what is your book about? And, when is the audio series going to come out?
My book, this is in Bosnian. It hasn't been translated in English, but we're thinking about it. It's 19 steps, 19 simple steps to achieve any goal, like when you translate it, but it's called The Knowing. In English, it would be The Knowing, 19 steps. And these 19 steps, they happen to be 19 steps, like that I found throughout I wrote this for like 5 years. It was in the making for 5 years. So I picked really important steps that I've seen and that helped me and the people around me. And they're easy. They're very simple and easy steps that need to be implemented very often. And then with that, you build your identity
Right.
with these steps. And then you, of course, with that, you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do with your life. It's
And
really,
again, that's the key. And anybody listening in, and if you're out in Bosnia and happening to listening in and understanding English as well, obviously this book is in Bosnian. It's important that, we find teachers like you that really have the keys or the solutions to your challenges and the pathway to success. And, like I've always heard from Tony Robbins. I mean, success leaves clues. And clearly you've done the studying, you've seen other people, you've created your own success rules and put them in this amazing book. I can't claim that I've read it because I don't speak your language, but I believe it's amazing. And what would be wonderful is when your audio series comes out. But I also know that you have an event coming up in Chicago, and you're
Yes.
planning on touring the entire country with these workshops. And tell us a little bit about the workshop, and I want you to share what you're doing in China as well.
All right, so yes, I'm actually going to have my first book promotion here in the United States in Chicago next Saturday, February 3rd. And with that, I will have a day event, a day workshop. That's going to be in English. So it's going to be open to everybody. Book promotion is, of course, in Bosnian only, but the events I will have in English because Bosnians here speak English. So I wanted to be open to whoever wants to. And I just want to share like simple yet powerful things with people in these workshops. And through my training, I'm able to facilitate some breakthrough elements that help people step into their fear. In the environment that we have in the workshop, you dare more and you break through basically. So that's what I'm going to be doing in these workshops and helping people step into their inner power, uncovering it. It's there. It's just piled up, covered with all these things and beliefs and all. So that's what about the workshop. But I am going to Bosnia in June to do two workshops there. I did one last summer, so I'm going for more. People are wanting it and book promotions, and then I'm going back to China, third time, third year. I go there and teach in the student camp, personal development, like high intensive student camps, and I just love it. I don't know, something about China is very, very amazing and powerful and beautiful to me. I love going there, and I enjoy teaching, but it's the energy there. I don't know what about China, but it's my favorite place right now to go to.
Awesome. You know what? Maybe I'll be your, baggage handler. I'll take your suitcases because I've never been to China and I would love to go there. And I'm also crazy about personal development. And actually, I'm going to Guatemala next month and doing some work there. Not doing any workshops though, but this is my year actually to start doing kinds of workshops when I figure out what you did in 2017 I'm going to do in 2018 and get it all together.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun ride for me as well. Well, I'm so excited to be talking to you today, and I really want to thank you. And but before we sign off, how do people find you?
They can find me on Facebook, but Creating New You is my website. Instagram is probably the best because I don't accept everybody on Facebook if I don't know them. But Instagram, Elvisa Kovacevic on Instagram is also a good way to find me.
Well, we'll make sure we add it on the Facebook page. So I want to thank you for today. And my name is Dr. Bart Rademaker, Prescription for Your Transformation, Real People, Real Conversations, and Real Success. My son will be happy I didn't use the hashtag again. And I'd like to give you the last word. Any last words of wisdom that you want to share? And anybody listening in, just remember Chicago this weekend, an amazing course, and she will do her courses in the future as well. But last words to you, Elvisa.
Thank you, first of all. Thank you so much. Seriously, love you, adore you, appreciate everything you do for our world. So last words, really, I'm not going to say anything new. I will say what people have heard before. Show up. Every single day, show up. You must be the leader of your mind. You must make your body feel strong. You have to do things that will give your body power and build that certainty. Just show up like that. That will automatically empower you and inspire you to go and do what's my next right step. What's the goal for today? Like, what do you have to do? Just that. Simple. Do this. Show up. Test yourself and see your life transform, every area of your life in a very short period of time.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
remember,
Thank you very much.
yeah.
So remember, everyone, show up, right?
Yes, remember to show up.
All right, Elvisa. Hey, lots of luck this weekend, and looking forward to having many more conversations with you in the future. But thank you again so much.